The Battle of Gaugamela, 331 BC. Rapid military deployment, or the capability to move troops and resources quickly and efficiently, is a hallmark of successful military operations. Whether through the mastery of cavalry movements in ancient times or the utilization of modern transport and logistics, the swiftness with which an army can be mobilized can tip the scales of victory. Rapid deployment allows armies to respond to emerging threats, exploit enemy weaknesses, or launch preemptive strikes, all of which can alter the course of history. The element of surprise, which is closely intertwined with rapid deployment, is equally pivotal. Surprise attacks disrupt an opponent's plans, sow confusion, and create psychological shock. And a well-executed surprise can render an enemy unprepared and disorganized, placing them at a severe disadvantage. Throughout history, the audacious and unexpected maneuvers of military leaders have often been the key to achieving victory against numerically superior forces. Consider Alexander the Great's swift and decisive flanking maneuver at the Battle of Gaugamela, or Hannibal's brilliant encirclement of the Romans at Cannae. These historic examples underscore how surprise tactics, coupled with rapid deployment, can lead to stunning victories. In modern warfare, the principles remain relevant. The lightning-fast blitzkrieg tactics employed by the German military during World War II demonstrated the enduring importance of rapid movement and the shock of the unexpected. Even in recent conflicts such as the Falklands War in 1981, the advantages of rapid military deployment and surprise tactics are undeniable. The Battle of Gaugamela, which was fought in 331 BC, stands as one of the most iconic battles in ancient history, primarily due to Alexander the Great's exceptional military leadership and ingenious flanking maneuver. This pivotal battle took place near the village of Gaugamela, which is located in modern-day Iraq, between Alexander's Macedonian army and the Persian forces led by King Darius III. Alexander, known for his audacious tactics and brilliant maneuvering, confronted a vastly larger Persian army. Darius III, the Persian king, deployed his forces on a wide and open plain, believing that the vast numerical advantage of his army would overwhelm the Macedonians. However, Alexander recognized that this terrain offered him the opportunity to exploit the weaknesses of Darius's massive army. Alexander executed a masterful and rapid deployment of his troops. He positioned his elite companion cavalry on the right flank, while the phalanx formation formed the center of his forces. The left wing comprised cavalry and infantry, and as the battle commenced, Alexander personally led the charge on the right, directing his companion cavalry to wheel around and strike at the exposed flank of the Persian line. This audacious flanking maneuver was executed with incredible speed, catching the Persians off guard and causing chaos in their ranks. Darius III was unable to respond effectively to the swift and coordinated attack. The Persian center became entangled with the Macedonian phalanx, while Alexander's cavalry broke through on the right, directly targeting Darius. The result was a decisive victory for Alexander's forces. Darius III fled the battlefield in fear, leaving his army in disarray. The Battle of Gaugamela shattered the myth of Persian invincibility and marked a turning point in the struggle between the Greek and Persian worlds. Alexander's rapid deployment, combined with his impressive flanking maneuver, showcased his military genius and highlighted the enduring importance of maneuver warfare and the element of surprise in battle. We'll take a look at pivotal battles and campaigns from different eras of history, showcasing the critical role that rapid military deployment has played in shaping the fates of nations and empires. But before we continue, if you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button to unlock a treasure trove of incredible videos. And don't keep your thoughts to yourself, drop a comment below and tell us what you'd like us to cover next. The Battle of Cannae, 216 BC. The Battle of Cannae, which was fought in 216 BC during the Second Punic War, stands as one of the most strategically brilliant and tactically devastating battles in ancient history, immortalizing the genius of the Carthaginian general Hannibal. The battle was a masterpiece of military maneuvering, with Hannibal's tactics and rapid deployment leading to a catastrophic defeat for the Roman Republic. At Cannae, Hannibal's forces, mainly composed of Carthaginians and their allied tribes, faced a significantly larger Roman army led by consuls Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Gaius Terentius Varro. Hannibal's strategy revolved around luring the Romans into a seemingly vulnerable position. The key to Hannibal's success was his ability to create a concave formation, with his infantry in a crescent shape facing the Romans. He deployed his less reliable infantry at the center, but had his most elite troops, including the African and Iberian infantry, forming the edges of the crescent. And his cavalry, notably Numidian and Gallic horsemen, were positioned on the wings. As the battle unfolded, Hannibal employed a seemingly reckless strategy of drawing the Romans deeper into his formation, allowing the center to give ground. This created an encirclement effect, with the Carthaginian cavalry on the flanks closing in on the German rear. The Romans then found themselves trapped within Hannibal's tightening grip. The result was a bloodbath. Tens of thousands of Roman soldiers were killed or captured. It's estimated that as many as 50,000 Roman soldiers perished at Cannae, making it one of the deadliest battles in history. The defeat was a severe blow to the Roman Republic, but it also demonstrated Hannibal's tactical brilliance and the devastating power of well-executed rapid encirclement tactics. The Battle of Cannae remains a timeless example of military strategy and the significance of maneuver warfare in achieving victory on the battlefield. The Battle of Austerlitz, 1805. The Battle of Austerlitz was fought on December 2nd, 1805, and it stands as one of Napoleon Bonaparte's most brilliant military triumphs, as well as a masterpiece of maneuver warfare. This pivotal battle during the War of the Third Coalition showcased Napoleon's strategic genius and his ability to rapidly deploy and execute decisive surprise attacks. Following the French occupation of Vienna on November 13, 1805, Napoleon relentlessly pursued the retreating Russian and Austrian allied armies into Moravia. At this juncture, the arrival of Russian Emperor Alexander I altered the command dynamics within the Allied forces, limiting the authority of their general Kutuzov. Recognizing the opportunity, Napoleon lured the Allies to confront him west of Austerlitz, and there he set a trap by vacating the Pratzen Plateau, strategically enticing the Allies to occupy it. The pivotal moment arrived when the Allies initiated their main offensive. By deploying 40,000 troops, they sought to sever the French right flank's connection to Vienna. Marshal Louis Davout, commanding a corps of 10,500 soldiers, diligently withstood this onslaught, and simultaneously, the Allied secondary attack on Napoleon's northern flank was met with staunch resistance. Then, Napoleon sprung the trap by ordering Marshal Nicholas Soult to lead 20,000 infantrymen up the Pratzen Plateau slopes. This maneuver effectively shattered the weaker Allied center, allowing Soult's forces to capture and secure the plateau. The Battle of Austerlitz ultimately culminated in a resounding victory for Napoleon. This triumph was an enduring testament to Napoleon's unmatched skills in strategic maneuvering and troop deployment. The Battle of Tannenberg, 1914. The Battle of Tannenberg, a pivotal engagement during World War I, unfolded in August 1914. Under the joint command of General Paul von Hindenburg and General Erich Ludendorff, German forces executed a brilliant and decisive offensive against the Russian Second Army in East Prussia. At the outbreak of World War I, the Russian Second Army, which was commanded by General Alexander Samsonov, ventured into East Prussia with the aim of diverting German forces from the Western Front. The Russians encountered initial success, but soon faced challenges in communication and coordination due to their vast deployment. Recognizing an opportunity, the German High Command dispatched Generals Hindenburg and Ludendorff to the Eastern Front. Their strategic vision was to quickly and effectively counter the Russian threat. The Germans meticulously planned their attack, leveraging the extensive railway network in the region to rapidly transport troops and supplies. Meanwhile, they exploited a gap between the Russian First and Second Armies. The battle began on August 26, 1914, with the Germans launching a flanking maneuver against the Russian Second Army. German forces enveloped the Russians, creating a pocket around them. Samsonov's army was then effectively encircled, with their lines of retreat severed. Over the course of several days, the Russians suffered devastating losses, and their Second Army eventually disintegrated. General Samsonov, unable to bear the weight of the defeat, then took his own life. The Battle of Tannenberg was a resounding victory for the Germans. It showcased the effectiveness of their rapid deployment, coordination, and strategic intelligence. The battle was a turning point in the Eastern Front, as it temporarily halted Russian advances into East Prussia and bolstered German morale. General Hindenburg, in particular, emerged as a national hero. The Fall of France, 1940. The blitzkrieg tactics employed by the German military during World War II were a revolutionary form of warfare characterized by rapid and coordinated movements, combined armed strategies, and the element of surprise. And these tactics reached their peak during the invasion of France in 1940, reshaping the nature of modern warfare. In May 1940, as German forces confronted the heavily fortified Maginot Line in northeastern France, they executed a daring maneuver by rapidly advancing through the seemingly impassable Ardennes forest, a region thought to be a natural barrier to large-scale military movements. This bold move, which took the Allies by surprise, was a testament to the flexibility and audacity of blitzkrieg warfare. The German forces, led by General Heinz Guderian, utilized fast-moving armored units, primarily tanks, and mechanized infantry, supported by air cover from the Luftwaffe. This combination of speed, firepower, and coordination allowed them to bypass the heavily defended Maginot Line and push deep into French territory. In turn, this drove a wedge between the British and French armies. The Blitzkrieg had effectively cut off the Allied troops from their supply lines and escape routes. And while the subsequent Dunkirk evacuation was a logistical and moral success for the Allies, the German Blitzkrieg tactics had proven to be devastatingly effective, as demonstrated by the fall of France in just a matter of weeks. The Battle of Dien Bien Phu, 1954. The Battle of Dien Bien Phu, a defining moment in the First Indochina War, unfolded from March to May 1954. Vietnamese Communist forces, under the astute leadership of General Vo Nguyen Giap, executed a meticulously planned and brilliantly executed campaign against the French stronghold of Dien Bien Phu. In a bold move, the French established a fortified outpost in the remote valley of Dien Bien Phu, believing that it would disrupt Viet Minh's supply routes and serve as a strategically advantageous base. Unbeknownst to them, though, General Giap had devised a plan to encircle and besiege this outpost. General Giap's tactics relied heavily on rapid deployment and the element of surprise. His forces skillfully maneuvered through the challenging terrain of the remote region, using guerrilla tactics to remain hidden from the French. They employed a vast network of trenches, tunnels, and fortifications to prepare for the assault. The siege began on March 13, 1954, with the Vietnamese forces gradually closing in on the French stronghold. General Giap's troops launched relentless attacks, gradually weakening the French position. The French, unable to receive adequate reinforcements and supplies due to the Viet Minh's control of the surrounding hills and roads, found themselves isolated and besieged. And despite stubborn French resistance, the situation soon became unreasonable. On May 7, 1954, the French garrison at Dien Bien Phu surrendered, marking a significant turning point in the First Indochina War. This victory for the Viet Minh led to the Geneva Accords later that year, which partitioned Vietnam and paved the way for its eventual reunification. The Battle of Dien Bien Phu exemplified the effectiveness of rapid deployment, surprise tactics, and guerrilla warfare in the face of a technologically superior enemy. General Giap's strategic brilliance and the dedication of his forces underscored the determination of the Vietnamese people in their struggle for independence. The Falklands War, 1982. The Falklands War in 1982 fought between Argentina and the United Kingdom over the disputed Falkland Islands, South Georgia, and South Sandwich Islands, featured remarkable displays of rapid mobilization and deployment by both sides. The conflict began when Argentine forces swiftly occupied the Falkland Islands on April 2, 1982. Argentina's rapid deployment caught the British government off guard, leading to a swift and decisive response. The British government quickly assembled a task force comprising naval vessels, troops, and equipment to retake the islands. One of the most notable examples of rapid mobilization was the British Royal Navy's effort to assemble a powerful naval task force in a matter of weeks. This task force, including the aircraft carriers HMS Hermes and HMS Invincible, along with numerous support vessels, transported British troops and equipment to the South Atlantic. The Royal Marines and the British Army units were rapidly deployed to the Falklands, demonstrating remarkable logistical and strategic planning. The ability to transport troops and supplies over thousands of miles of ocean to a remote and hostile environment was a testament to the UK's military capabilities. On the Argentine side, rapid mobilization was also evident as they fortified their position on the Falklands and South Georgia. They quickly established airfields, deployed troops, and positioned naval assets in the region. Ultimately, though, the conflict resulted in the successful British recapture of the Falklands, demonstrating the importance of rapid mobilization and deployment in modern warfare. The Falklands War showcased the challenges and complexities of conducting military operations in distant and hostile environments, emphasizing the need for effective logistics, intelligence, and strategic planning. Rapid deployment enables armies to seize strategic advantages, respond to threats swiftly, and maintain the initiative on the battlefield. From Alexander the Great's lightning-fast cavalry to modern airlift capabilities, the ability to move troops quickly has been and continues to be a hallmark of successful military campaigns. Efficient logistics underpin the sustainability of military operations. Supplies, equipment, and reinforcements are the lifeblood of any army, and well-organized logistics ensure that these vital elements reach the front lines in a timely manner. From ancient empires like Rome to modern multinational coalitions, logistical prowess has often been the key to victory. The element of surprise, whether achieved through ingenious tactics, unexpected maneuvers, or covert operations, frequently tips the balance in favor of the unanticipated attacker. Battles like the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC demonstrated how surprise can lead to catastrophic defeats or triumphant victories. In an age of technological innovation, these timeless principles highlight that despite advances in weaponry and communication, the fundamentals of military success remain anchored in the ability to move swiftly, sustain operations, and outthink the adversary. Which of these battles intrigued you the most? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.